That would be 5:30. Okay. Call to order. Tim, I believe you were going to do our invocation, and Scotty will do.
Let's pray. Lord, we just thank you for this beautiful day that you've given us, Lord, and all your many blessings that you bestow on us. Lord, just thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight to conduct our city business, Lord. Just be with our leaders. Grant them the wisdom and knowledge they need to make decisions on what's brought before them today, Lord. Just a couple of special prayer requests, Lord. Just be with the Skeen family and the Carr family, Lord, for the losses of the two today. So, Lord, just comfort them and be with them in their time of need. Lord, just forgive us where we fell. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Raise the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Lanny Jewell,
Here.
Fred Burton, Rob Sesternino,
Here.
Joe Hayes,
Here.
Tim Ryan,
Here.
Kathy Warren, all present.
Okay. Approval of the minutes for the March 5th, 2013 regular called city council meeting.
A little question.
Yes.
On the sidewalk issue, did we not get this in with the minutes?
I don't believe I received it from you
Well, I thought we passed them all out and all of them,
at the work session.
no, last meeting. Just on the sidewalks over there in, on Greenwood and Forest. Did you not have one for her, Paul?
That was part of your packet, Mr. Jewell.
I mean, but is it in the minutes?
No, but you would like it in the minutes?
I was hoping it would, because I mean, it spelled out the changes and everything that's been
Okay.
approved by the state. I'd just like to have that packet put in there. That,
I will.
okay, I appreciate that.
Approval of minutes with the addition
Make a
of
motion
the,
as amended.
okay. All in favor? Opposed? Passed. That's amended. March 6, 2013 special call city council meeting. Have a first. Second. All in favor? Opposed? Passed. Communications from citizens, if anyone would like to address the council. Okay. All right. Have a couple of announcements. One thing, coming the Easter egg hunt, March the 30th at 10 o'clock. We plan to have a city Easter egg hunt at the James C. Ward. And invite everyone to be there, the fire department and other volunteers and all will be there to help him with the gas company and all. And invite everyone out to bring their kids and grandkids and yourselves. And I think we have an age for even the older ones. Let's see, also we remind everyone spring cleanup is coming here soon. It'll be the first 2 weeks in April, and we'll be starting on that. Go to our website and check on what you're able to put out there in front of your homes, and we'll be picking it up and cleaning up the city, getting ready for spring and summertime there. I think there's something else, but I can't remember what it is, so I'll pass it on to the man.
Okay, thank you. Had one of my constituents come to me this past week, and he was complaining about the papers were getting thrown at the end of the driveways. I talked to him that day, and then I seen where it was on the news that night. He was complaining that some of them just stay there. If you have somebody that's not living there or whatever, so I didn't know what we could do or whose department that would be.
I think, well, it'd be under Danny Raines and Patsy, I believe, from what I understand, that if didn't she send them a letter to the papers asking them to do away, or to address the ones where no one was living, or?
I can speak to one issue. And it might have been a random thing, but there's no one with a rash of folks. Just said, they're throwing on rubber, et cetera. And it was kind of like, I don't mean freedom of speech, but it was a form of communication on behalf of the newspaper. And they said they had a real hard time controlling it because you might want this week, but you don't want it next week. And basically, it was, we don't know how to control who wants it and who doesn't, and it was a courtesy thing. So, and if there's more that you can do for that, I mean, that was what I really told.
I forget exactly what Patsy did, but she did try to,
I was gonna ask her, and I think this issues are gonna look in English, but to be a real important thing, because they can't shoot a paper, I don't know.
You're talking about the free papers.
Yeah.
that are
In the bags.
thrown in the yards and no one.
We'll
Yeah.
send one or we'll. we
Right,
just-
Yeah,
right around
to the
his
scene.
house, right around his house, he was ending up with several that were ending up in the street is what it was.
Yeah.
It also tells you that people, makes you think they're not home or they're on vacation, and that's another kind of like concern. It's like the mail hanging out of your box. But I think when we
It's protected, it's a First Amendment issue, they're allowed to distribute those papers. But we do need to pay attention to the ones that they seem to be collecting, I guess, and address that issue.
But when Andy or someone didn't want them to deliver it, did they just contact the papers and tell them?
That's between them and the papers, and for us to.
Not for us, okay.
Okay. I told him I'd ask him, see where we were at on it. He also, was talking about, I told him I'd have to refer to Joe down there, because I've heard him say before, it's one of the friends over there at the church, Joe, that he was talking about the people mowing their yards and blowing the grass out on the streets. I told him I knew I'd heard you talk about it several times, so I would yield and back you up. The only other thing is on these, one of the reasons why I was trying to get this put into the minutes on the sidewalks was because I want us to really watch on some of this, because some of these neighborhoods, they need the sidewalks, no doubt about it. The only problem I have is some of these grants, I guess it's more of watching how we do the grants, because some of the grants are for, it's taking a sidewalk that's bigger than we have on West Main and shoving it down in a small neighborhood. So I think we need to kind of keep an eye on it and try to pick out our grants, pick the areas where we can handle the bigger sidewalks and the areas that can handle the smaller sidewalks. But those people, I got some people there that's the reason I've been trying to protect them. They've been living there a whole lot longer than the school was there. And you're talking about something that can take up over half the front yard, so I've tried to take up for them, and I think we're coming to a pretty good solution. I appreciate Paul and Jeff, because they're putting in the time. They've seen Paul walking around in the neighborhood with a pair of rubber boots trying to find pins that he couldn't find. But I want to thank y'all for that. That's all I have, Mayor.
Fred?
Yeah, Mayor, I met with Jeff. Have you set up the final date on the drainage meetings with everybody?
No, actually, I think that won't drop in a couple of days, I believe, the guys do. I think you met, and I think Tish met, and those three guys didn't get together and get a chance, and these two guys, so basically that's the meeting with Lee Clark and Matt Brown. Matt Brown is actually taking care of that, but if it's three are scheduled and three more to be scheduled. They're going over each ward, and then you come back here, sit at this table again, and talk about, things we discovered, and we're gonna end up knowing, possibly the big issue, of course, that sort of stuff. I'm sure the issue that, because you want about, we have to table and go over it with everybody in the group as well, so. We've had good meetings, I think Robert still up in the third one.
Okay, I've been looking at the work that you've been doing in the second ward, and it has already helped tremendously. And just like I said, I got the other major projects that we need to go over. try to get those brought to here as soon as possible. Mr. Justice, Mike? Back when I was a councilman before, prior to my retirement, we bought 3 red cars that was supposed to be patrolling on the off, I guess, off times when the officers wasn't at the fire halls or off duty some kind of way. Whatever happened to that program? Is that program still in existence? Because I don't see any of those cars rolling anymore.
The red cars are no longer, they're antiquated and had too many miles on them to be considered emergency vehicles anymore. We still have 2 of them we're gonna sell. However, we don't have any current PSOs other than in the public safety division. We have the 3 that work for me, and that's the only ones we have to get out right now.
So do you think that program would be reinstituted or do you have enough men to do it?
We worked on it last year, and I believe it's salvageable. I believe that last year we come to the conclusion that it needs to be redefined. But I believe it's salvageable. I believe it.
Can you get some surplus from the military?
Can I or have I? Yeah, I've had nightmares about surplus in the military.
Okay, that's all I have.
They've collected a lot of surplus, as you call it.
That's all I have.
All right. Rob?
Friday, 4 o'clock, at the county courthouse, for those of you that aren't aware. It's the meeting with TDOT for the safety project on the square. So regardless of what side of this issue you're on, if you want to get your questions answered and you want to be heard, that's an opportunity. So I would urge everyone, regardless of where you stand on it.
I left a letter at each one of the deaths that were this lady contacted me about the sewer down between Crow Lane and Hartman Drive. We understand it's pretty rocky and it's not really draining and having some sewer problems. So I thought I'd drop these off and see if we need anything we can do or what the plan is. And then also I got well, you've probably seen a bunch of emails, Stonebridge down there where they're talking about the fire hall. And I just wonder if there's any plans on anything for that. And we've got a bunch of houses there in Stonebridge and also down on Callis Road. And plus the businesses there in Eastgate. I know at one time we was talking to see about getting some help from them. We can come up together or not. We do own some property down there and also a contractor down there will give us some land to put one on the legal pipe wanted to. So I just wanted to bring that out so we can be thinking about it. But those people got a real problem. They had been in the city that long, but they want protection.
I believe part of the issue is too, with the hail damage that we had, a lot of the insurance rates have risen tremendously down there, even 3 times. And I think part of it is that the insurance companies have realized that they're not within that 5-mile radius. And
They got hit twice, really.
yeah, so it's something that's the city of Lebanon is going to have to address at some point. And it's growing. You know, we need to really take a hard look at a fire hall down in that area. We have what you suggested, a donation there, but we also have a couple of other places, possible locations. So, yes, it is something that this council need to be looking at in the future. Terry?
Yeah, I had our meeting with Matt and Lee, and it went really well. And if you folks haven't already, I know Rob, I think you're scheduled Thursday. It's very informative, and they really pinpointed, some things that we need to do. And I think they're well on their way now to get some of these problems resolved. They put in a lot of work. I don't see how they do what they do, but who they got, the personnel they have, it just didn't seem like there's enough of them to do what it is they have to do. Somehow they've done it. So, and I appreciate them. I wanted to let you know that. And we had I guess you read in the paper about these car burglaries that were going on in Oak Hill and West End Heights, and I want to thank our police department for apprehending this person or persons that was responsible for that. I didn't realize what was going on till my neighbor called me at work, and she said her car had been burglarized. Both neighbors on both sides of me had been burglarized. So I went home to see. I had left my garage unlocked. I had all my tools sitting in the floorboard of my truck. It was unlocked, and I got there. Nothing was taken, and it seemed like they hit everybody in the neighborhood but me. And I opened my door, and there was a $20 bill sitting on my seat, so he must have felt sorry for me. Considering the vehicle I drive, he had a note, he said, "You need this worse than I do." But anyway, other than that, but thank you for that. That's it. That's all.
Kathy. Follow that, Kathy.
That's great. I just want to follow up a little bit on what Joe was talking about the letter from the lady that lives on Lake Pike. And I think I want to point out this because, and just humor here, whenever I had Zach, he was just a little tiny, and I lived there on Dogwood Drive. And we called the city years ago, different administration, I'm texting probably there at that time, I'm not real sure. We called and we said, look, you know, we got baby diapers and all this kind of stuff, we gotta wash all these clothes, and every time it rains, it's raw sewage, it's coming up in my bathtub, I can't flush on my toilets, I can't have people over, we light candles, I mean, we put all this stuff on the rug, it's not enough, it just is not enough. Well, I happen to know this individual personally, and on this particular situation with baby rain, she actually had to go out, find the lid off of her septic tank, pop it to take the pressure off of her home, because it was coming up in the bathtub, and it will. I mean, if your septic gets full, it will come up. And so my question, I guess, again or still or more is, I can appreciate growth and all that stuff, but I really feel for these folks. And we used to have, every year we set aside monies for,
Pocket.
yeah, for these pockets. And yeah, we went here, we did this, we got this done. And I know it's very, very expensive to go from house to house. And Joe and I talk about crowd lane. You know, a lot of people don't want it because it's, you know, it's a half mile of their house. And they'll tell you that. They're not going to have home. But in these cases here, all of these particular folks are in the same situation. I had an email earlier from folks that live on Franklin Road that also are experiencing just some problems. And I don't know what their problems are. But here's what I'd like to say. When we sit down at the table to do the budget, these guys have got to be the first to be, you know, to be addressed. I mean, I can appreciate going out to Eastgate and, you know, and we've done this to the Speedway and all these other places. But man, our folks have been in the city for 20 years, really and truly just need some attention and stuff. We get creative when it comes time for the budget, and I understand we got a pretty healthy reserve at this point. I really, really and truly would like to see us look at our town home folks that have been here their whole lives and have paid taxes, and they've just kind of gotten in the pocket, is what they've gotten. So I just want to reiterate that, because I know this circumstance, and I've done it. We actually had to go out and break a pipe to make our own septic in our yard, so we could actually take a shower. And then nothing more, I don't know, there's lots of things more. But it's a very not desirable situation, especially when you have babies with diapers and clothes and all that stuff, or anything. So that was really all that I wanted to say with that. The other thing too is I've got a call, and I've had these calls before, on the paving list. Do we know when that's gonna come out, Jeff, or have you got any kind of good feel?
We've got a draft again from this, what we're trying to do. I called again today, and again today, we'll try to finish that up. we'll try to get that to you guys in the draft review.
Okay.
The next, maybe before next meeting, because we've got, we've built on the last 2 years, you guys will know, so we'll get that to you. I thought that today, we'll get that out. It gives a draft.
The one thing I wanted to point out, and it's really kind of not fair, because again, it's a few houses, but when you come out of the city on Horn Springs Road, and you run across the railroad tracks, and I think y'all know what I'm talking about, right there by, used to be ours on Main, but now it's another endeavor. But right there when you go through that particular area, I mean, you'll leave the ground if you're moving. I mean, it is basically dips, and I think it's because trucks, they're building out, you know, and plantation, and there's a lot of commerce going on out there. But that, to me, has been a complaint for the last 10+ years, would you not say, Jeff?
It's on the horseback right by the old West Bank Garden.
Yeah, it's just where it dips, and, you know, it just gets warm, and these big heavy trucks hit, and it just dips, and we've got dips all over town too, I know, but some of them are the state dips that they can pay for. But, the last thing I want to say is, I laid eyes on the bill for local vendors, that Senator Beavers has, and I know what it looks like, and I guess it's on the move. So thank you, Andy, for getting that clarification language and working with legal down at the state. And I think we'll get to come up and get creative here as soon as it gets done with them. So that's all I got to say. Thank you.
I got a question, annexation plans. Because on this particular one that Joe was talking about, this was done in '89, and it's been, like she said, it has been more than 15 years. Who do you have marked
It's
it?
like, I think 15 years ago, we did pocket plan review, but also the last 6, 7, 8 years, we've concentrated a lot more, and actually, I, because of our state mandate, that's what's happening. Because it went that way, we finished our last major subdivision area, and we finished the part of South Oklahoma Springs that was annexed in the city. We have several, remember the Justin, if you heard the word about the pocket plan, we've identified, we've got a little, we looked at council years ago one time. Both is identified the pocket plan, well, I know the one Kathy is, the one right up on front of the road, the newer one, you went in the Renaissance. This one here, the Kathy Boys Commission, you know, I'm very, very familiar with that one, we've already got cost for it, it's just a matter of, we could possibly look at some of these, we want to try to spot hospitals out again, because you know, all those things say approximate time frames, and I'm giving a definite date, it's also approximate, so it's been the wiggle room you see is used, but honestly, just not to be on the bush, the last 5, 6 years, we've spent our sewer money towards keeping our sewer plant and trying to keep the sewer inside the sewer pipes. We've gotten away from the pocket plan as much as more than we should have. But again, those projects all gonna cost money, and if the money, you probably would have to borrow and pay back. But yes, I'll bring these kind of costs, any others we get identified. We've probably already got costs as a phone, and it's the update because we're loaded, but this is one I'm very familiar with right here, very familiar.
Well, how soon do you think you could help Councilman Hayes out and this lady here?
As far as the numbers, we'll have to go through this budget process, that's not a problem, we've already got that here identified. It's a matter of you choose to fund it, and then how you gonna pay them.
Do we have it in this year's budget?
This current budget, no. You have to be the next budget, or you have to end the budget. You're not, if we say many times here, we're not really doing sewer capital work without borrowing money. There's not enough funds to go and spend. It's Kathy Henson, I think, is a very good point. Most of the left now, these are your less dense areas, therefore the cost for customers is very expensive. We've taken care of, I think, all what I would call high density areas, like the Orange Springs, South Fork, on areas like that. We're down now to a few spots like this, that do need to be looked at and certified. I'm not saying it doesn't, it do not, but you've got to also figure out how you're gonna pay for it.
The last 3 or 4 years, like I say, a lot of that money has come to the I&I and replacing where the old clay pipes and a lot of that money went there, just trying to cut down the amount of water coming into the lines every rain we had.
Those down our state mandate, and our more important issues. But these
Yeah,
are
but
legitimate requests.
Do you have any rough idea of what it would take?
I can't borrow, I can't deny.
It would maybe have some kind of, and I'm saying yes, in the next meeting.
This here, we've already done.
We're starting the budget now, so the timing is, It's a good time.
We weren't, this is usually estimated more than one.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right. Started new business, ordinance 134311, first reading to amend monthly credit card limit for city purchasing card for Family Life Center. Right now it's at $500 and we're just asking to increase it to the $1,500. Most of the other department heads, they're at $2,500.
I make a motion to approve.
Have a first and a second, all in favor? Opposed? Passed. Ordinance 134312, first reading, authorized line item transfer for the cemetery department to cover a truck repair. Have a first and second, all in favor? Opposed? Passed. Resolution 131719 to hire part-time records clerk, police department. Have a first and a second, all in favor? Opposed? Passed. Resolution 131720 to hire full-time dispatcher for the police department.
Second.
Have a first and a second, all in favor? Opposed? Passed. Ordinance 134315, first reading to authorize line item transfer for the public safety department.
Second.
Have first and second, all in favor? Opposed? Passed. Resolution 131721 to hire a replacement part-time wellness recreation aide and also to gear up for the temporary seasonal employees for the Jimmy Floyd Center. Have first and second, all in favor? Opposed? Passed. Resolution 131722 to decommission the non-directional beacon at the Lebanon Municipal Airport.
Second.
Have first and second, discussion.
Is that just no longer required, Jeff?
Some necessary, the travel restriction, I hate to let people skin the road, but it's no longer necessary. Most airports are decommissioned. GPS really is the best control today.
I remember, Fred, I think you were involved in that when that was a big issue, but technology has moved on, so no, I'm fine with that. I was just
All
asking.
in favor? Opposed? Ordinance 134316, first reading to authorize line item transfer for the street department. And first
Second.
and second, all in favor? Opposed? Passed. Ordinance 134317, first reading to authorize line item transfer for the sanitation department. Have a first
Second.
and second, all in favor? Opposed? Passed. Ordinance 134318, first reading to authorize line item transfer for the garbage department. Garage, yeah, I'm sorry, excuse me. Reading too fast. Transfer for the garage department. Have first and second, all in favor? Opposed? Passed. Resolution 131723 to hire part-time employees for the general maintenance department. This is for the mowing, gear up for the mowing season. And first and second, all in favor? Opposed? Passed. Resolution 131724 to hire a light equipment operator of street department to replace an employee who resigned.
Second.
Have a first and second, all in favor? Opposed? Passed. Ordinance 134319, first reading to authorize line item transfer for the reader department. The first, second, all in favor? Opposed? Passed. There you go.
Mayor,
Sorry. That's all right.
5:30 Wednesday.
5:30 tomorrow night. Yes, sir. Thank you.